Hey there, it's Jordan with Status Coup. I am joined for a bit of breaking news by Heather and other Amazon workers at ALB1. That's in Skodak, right near Albany. This morning, you could tell it to me, Heather. Workers around 8:30 this morning started smelling an odor.
Yes. So this morning, from what I understand, between 8 and 9 a.m., some of the pickers started reporting that they smelled an odor. The odor appeared to be something of a gas nature. And so that was around 8 to 9 a.m. that it was reported.
And what did managers do when they reported it?
So apparently, at that point, they began investigating what the odor could potentially be. But nothing happened until what time did you?
So I was in Amcare at 11. Was my appointment, and at about 11:05, one of the Amcare staff came in and said that we were going to be evacuating. And then shortly after that, you heard Nick on the radio saying, "No, we're not going to be evacuating. Operations at full capacity." Until
And Nick is a
now,
manager.
Nick is the general manager. So Nick also is the manager that last year during the state of emergency, when the entire state was shut down, he refused to close the building. So I can tell you that safety had requested the building to be shut down by 11 a.m. because the odor was becoming stronger. We all smelled it. I was actually in the break room, funny enough, on a call with the NLRB attorney, and a couple workers came in and said, "Heather, the entire building smells like gas." And I came out and the odor was very strong. So this was around 11:50. So 11 o'clock is when the workers heard safety asking for the building to be evacuated, and the manager said, "Nope, full capacity." 11:50, the workers came to me and said, "Heather, the building smells like gas." And at that point, I went directly to one of the senior operations manager, Chuck. And Chuck said he was working with safety to determine the source of the smell. And it turns out that from what we understand, I'm sorry, I'm freezing. The source of the smell, I know, the source of the smell was coming from the rooftop. So the maintenance company was working on the rooftop near the gas lines, and the gas lines are what fuel our pits. So apparently there must have been a broken fuel line that was leaking into the building since 9 a.m. The problem with that is shortly before I went on break, an associate standing next to me had been coughing. So while the associate was coughing, I asked her if she's okay. Yeah, did you? So this is Jose. We're just talking about now. Do you know exactly what time the odor was reported this morning?
I smelled it like around, I don't know if it was 12.
So 12 is when we got evacuated. So
I didn't look at the time.
yeah, but so in any event, the associate next to me had been coughing throughout the morning, and I asked her, "Hey, are you okay?" And she said she has asthma, and I encouraged her to actually go to Amcare. I thought maybe it was just the dust in the area where I work, because her cough was increasing. So when we figured that, or when the entire building was filled with odor, I went to Chuck and said, "We need to evacuate. We need to evacuate now. Enough is enough." So this was around 11:50. I went to and I told him I'm calling OSHA and I'm calling the fire department, and we started to discuss a walkout. So I was actually on the phone with OSHA verifying, hey, if we contest working conditions and we walk out, we are protected by law. So as I was talking to the associates, I was on the phone with OSHA. The alarm finally went off around 12 o'clock and we were evacuated. So the time is now 12:49. The ambulance is here because we've had several. What's that?
Did we get our last break? We've been out here for already 45 minutes.
So yeah, that's another thing. We have been standing out here.
1 second. There's ambulances there?
12 o'clock.
There's ambulances there?
As you can see, they provided us with
plastic blankets.
Plastic blankets.
And hats,
The
gloves.
fire department and
hand
EMS are still here.
So let me
again,
try to
circle back.
let me try to break this down so I understand it. Basically, somewhere between 8 and 9 a.m., workers are reporting an odor. Soon after that, workers were getting symptoms like coughing. You had
Yeah.
mentioned other symptoms.
Headache. Didn't you have somebody in Amcare with a headache?
Yeah, she Barb was complaining about a headache.
Okay, so we started to see symptoms
And
of.
Autumn said she was about to. Felt
I
like
felt
she
like I
was
had to
gonna
throw.
pass
I
out.
felt like I had to throw a gas.
You felt like. So we had workers around 10, 11 a.m. that were reporting symptoms of nausea, headache, coughing, dizziness.
And what time
Headache.
did you when did you find out that Amazon had maintenance workers on the roof potentially looking into a gas leak?
That started around 9 o'clock a.m. after it was reported. From what I understand, they discovered that maintenance was working up on the rooftop, and that was confirmed. I believe, what time was that? 10. The
No,
CVR.
I think it was closer to 11.
Closer
a little after 11.
So they must have been up there for a while, and we finally discovered around 10:30, 11 o'clock that the leak was likely coming from the work that was being done on the rooftop near the fuel lines.
But to be clear, Amazon had maintenance workers on the roof looking into a potential gas leak and kept workers in there for at least an hour or two while they were looking into a potential gas leak.
At least 2 hours. Two or more hours.
I don't see that.
Well, that sounds fairly dangerous if they're getting reports of odor. Maintenance workers are working next to a gas line, yet they're keeping the workers in there.
They did. They absolutely did. But I will say that was the general manager's decision, because I will say that safety was requesting the building to be evacuated around 10:30, 11 a.m. and the general manager said no, full capacity. So it wasn't until almost 12 o'clock that I spoke to the other senior manager, and I will say that safety and the other senior manager, Chuck, at that point, 10 minutes after my discussion with them, they did evacuate. So they must have said, no, enough is enough. People are getting sick. But that wasn't until 12.
And how long after you threatened to call OSHA did the alarm go off and they released workers?
I want to be clear, I did call OSHA, and I was in the break room discussing a walkout. 10 minutes.
Right, but how long after you told the manager you were going to call OSHA did they release?
15 minutes.
Do you think that had something to do with them releasing
I
workers?
100% think it had something to do with it.
So,
They're afraid because of all the OSHA violations at our building, and now you have people literally getting sick hours after a gas leak was reported.
and how many workers work in that warehouse?
We have about, I would say, maybe 600 here today, 600 to 700.
And the nausea, headaches, etc. Was that being reported to managers at the time?
Headache, nausea, dizziness, coughing were reported.
And this comes in the broader context. You and fellow workers organized last year to form a union. Unfortunately, the vote didn't pass. There's a lot of reasons why. Amazon had brought in an army of union busting consultants to push propaganda. A lot of other reasons. You guys didn't get as much support as you perhaps needed from Amazon Labor Union. But what's happening today is added to. There's been other major issues and safety concerns here for years.
Yes, but I will also add, coincidentally, I have a call this afternoon with Christian Swalls and with Connor, and I had, strangely enough, I was actually on the phone with the NLRB attorney preparing for trial on January 29th regarding our objections.
Your objections to the election?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So our trial is actually in front of a judge. on January 29th. And so that I think is just coincidental to today's events. But again, you know, at ALB1, our building is top 7 in the entire U.S. for injuries and safety violations. And that can be confirmed, you know, through the OSHA violations. We've been on CNN. So you would think that they would be more proactive when it comes to worker safety. But today demonstrates the fact that I don't think the general manager is taking our safety seriously. As soon as safety recommended an evacuation of the building, that should have been it. We have pregnant workers in here. One of the workers that I was engaging with talking about a walkout is 7 months pregnant and she's a diabetic. So that should have been the priority. I have a heart condition, they know everything about it, people with asthma. So the fact that they made a conscious decision after a gas leak was reported, and then on top of it, another hour of symptoms, I'm really glad that at 12 o'clock, after I had that discussion, that senior manager must have made the decision, hey, enough is enough, we're evacuating.
But what's interesting is we don't know the exact timeline, but roughly between 8 and 9 a.m. were the first workers reporting to managers there's some type of odor.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're talking roughly a 2 to 3 hour gap between workers reporting an odor and then evacuating you. If there was some type of leak or worse, explosion or something like that, they had plenty of time to evacuate you, but chose not to.
100%. Not to mention, not even call the fire department to see what the leak was. Why not call the fire department at the very least
So what I
to
want to know is
assess?
how long can they hold us out here in 26-degree weather?
Oh, that's another thing. We've been out here for almost an hour.
No, it's been over an hour.
Over an hour.
At 11:50. It is now 12:57.
So yeah, we're still out here. Some people with short sleeve shirts. They did pass out these blankets and gloves, but we're all still standing out here an hour later, and they are refusing to send us home. And I want to say that it's also, is it coincidental that they finally evacuated at lunchtime?
Right.
It was lunchtime when they evacuated. Am I right? Yeah.
And what is
grabbed more stuff.
Huh?
So the firemen just came out and grabbed more stuff.
The firemen. Hi, Keenan. Wait, did you want to say hello to the media? This is Keenan. Keenan is my manager. I really like Keenan. He's great. Keenan is one of the managers at ALB1. And thank you so much. Are you passing those?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure if you have
Keenan.
any.
I know, because my hands are cold.
Oh, no.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
and
Thank you so much.
can I ask you? Can I ask you? You mentioned there's ambulances there. Do you know if anyone's been injured or needs an ambulance?
So again, just to reiterate that we have had workers that demonstrated or had symptoms of nausea, coughing, asthma, a pregnant worker. So I can't confirm or deny if anybody has in fact been treated for any symptoms. We can't get in the building.
Let's just get down to brass tacks. This is $1 trillion company, and they wouldn't evacuate you all for several hours despite a suspected gas leak. Besides how dangerous that is, it does not match with the commercials they put out of rainbows and sunshine and everybody's just loving work. Can you tell people, is any of this surprising as an Amazon employee?
Well, I want to just ask you, does this look like rainbows and sprinkles and unicorns and happy workers? No, we are out here freezing. So I will say this, Amazon, the $1 trillion corporation, and it's funny, I've done some TikTok videos about the working conditions, just Christmas Eve, we got out half a day. They refused to pay us for a full day. Christmas we had off. We worked 10-hour days. We were paid for 8 hours. Workers are sent home without pay. Yeah, even, you're right. Like, they won't order us lunch. They evacuated us at our lunchtime, and we are standing out here. Do you think that they're going to order us food? Do you think that they're going to provide anything, or let us go home so that we can be warm and we can eat nothing. We're standing out here. So my question to consumers and to the public, does this look like the working conditions that Amazon poses are fantastic and great? No. We're standing out here in the cold. We waited 3 hours to be evacuated on our lunchtime. They will not order us lunch. They will not allow us to go home. We're going to be standing out here for quite a while.
And
These
that's my last question. That's my last question. Are you getting any communication from managers on when they're going to make a decision or how long you're going to be expected to be out there?
No, you actually just saw my manager come over to offer me, hang on, my packet. And in this packet is this is a blanket, but really it's one of those things that the dentist puts on you before your procedure, and the foil, but that's it. We've gotten no communication. It's been over an hour. We haven't been told anything. We're standing out here on our lunch. They won't order us food. They won't tell us if we're going home. Nothing will happen. And the last time this happened, it was a good 1.5 to 2 hours. And again, as a reminder, we have workers here. And if we leave, matter of fact, I just want to, hang on, I want to ask the manager, Keenan, I just want to ask them, Keenan, if we leave, will we be charged UPT or PTO? I mean, UPT? Oh, hang on. Apparently they're doing something with the gas hose. Apparently there must be a gas leak because they're hooking up the gas. Oh, hang on, but I need the answer to the UPT. Can you go get the answer to the UPT? Hang on, apparently they're doing, huh?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so, I know. Can you go find out what they're doing with the gas? Apparently there must have been a gas leak. Hang on, I don't want to miss Lauren's answer. Oh yeah, hang on, I'm going to show you. Yeah, it looks like there must have been some kind of gas leak. You want me to go over to HR and the managers and see?
Sure.
Okay. This is what happens when Heather got all approaches. Huh? I know. Do you like my blanket? I know, it's like a little cape. Lauren, I just have a quick question. So if an associate leaves, will they be charged UPT?
Yeah, no one's been dismissed from work. We don't have an answer to the buildings that we can't return.
So if an associate leaves because they've been out here an hour, they will be charged UPT?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay. And whose decision would that be? It's just the policy. But I just want to reiterate that it's like 28 degrees. We have workers with heart conditions, asthma, pregnancy. So if they make a decision to leave because it's been so cold out here, they will be charged UPT. And if they're low UPT, are they at risk of termination?
At this moment, it's people's time.
So they will be at risk of termination.
If they don't have the time to cover it, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that. Thank you. There you have it. If an associate leaves because we've been standing out here for an hour in the freezing cold, it doesn't matter what medical condition they have. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to show you. Look at how red my hands are from being out here. Okay? You see how red my hands are? So I don't have my keys, I couldn't even leave because all my stuff is inside. So you just heard the reality of these workers. And yeah, I'm pissed off right now because you just heard it. If these workers make a decision to leave and they don't have UPT because they're new or it's the beginning of the year, they're at risk of termination. You just heard it. That is what we live with. That is our working conditions. If you leave because you've been out here for over an hour in the cold and you don't have the time, you are at risk of being terminated because you are choosing not to stand out here. You just heard it. That is what we deal with. That's the reality. How can anybody justify a worker standing out here after they've been exposed? And what if they want to go get treatment? And if they left to go get treatment, you heard it, and they don't have the time, they will get terminated.
At least Amazon's honest about one thing when their union bust. They value their direct relationship with workers. So they
Yes.
value
But
directly
I mean,
exploiting you.
can you believe what you just heard?
Yes, I can. Honestly, I can.
I know that question. Yeah, I don't know why so I'll get the shock face when something happens, but you just heard it. If you
All right.
leave,
Thank you.
you can be
Thank you.
terminated.
Thank you. I'm gonna stay in touch with you throughout the day so we can update this as we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.